Teach him the price of Ijin Oerng. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Tonight I want to talk to you about something that so many of us have experienced but rarely address openly: the price a man pays when he ignores a woman who truly values herself. You see, too often, women allow men to take their presence for granted, to overlook their worth, and to dismiss their hearts. But let me tell you something: ignoring a woman with dignity and self-respect isn't just a mistake. It's a cost he will pay sooner or later. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about ignoring a woman who knows her worth. Too many men out there think that a woman's love is endless, that her attention is free, and that her heart will always wait for them. But here's the truth: when you ignore a woman who values herself, you are playing a dangerous game, a game where the price is much higher than you can imagine. You see, every time you brush her off, every time you take her presence for granted, you are setting yourself up for regret. And not the small kind of regret, the kind that keeps you awake at night, wondering what you could have had, wondering why she isn't there anymore. Men, this is real talk. Women are not just here to fill a space in your life. They are here to change your life. When a woman gives you her attention, her trust, and her love, she is investing a part of herself into your life. And when you ignore her, when you fail to appreciate her, you are wasting that investment, and more importantly, you are wasting yourself. Ignoring someone like that is like standing in front of a gold mine and turning your back because you think dirt is enough for you. It doesn't make sense. And yet, so many men do it. They fail to see that ignoring her doesn't just hurt her, it costs them opportunities they will never get back. Ladies, I need you to understand something. The power is not in pleading. The power is not in crying over someone who doesn't see your value. The power is in your presence, in your confidence, in the way you live your life, even when he's too blind to notice. When a man ignores a woman who knows her worth, he is signing up for a life of missed chances. He may think she'll wait forever, but trust me, she won't. She will grow, she will shine, she will find joy and love that reflects her true value, and by the time he wakes up, it will be too late. Men, hear me on this. Ignoring a woman is not a harmless act. It is a statement, whether you intend it or not. It tells her that she doesn't matter, that her feelings don't count, that her presence is optional. And in doing so, you risk losing the kind of connection that most men spend their entire lives searching for. Because women of substance are rare. They are not just anyone you find on a Friday night out. They are women who support you, challenge you, and inspire you. And ignoring them is like throwing away a treasure and hoping to find it again somewhere down the line. I want every woman listening tonight to remember this: when someone ignores you, it's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their blindness, their inability to appreciate what they have. And men, I want you to remember this: the price of ignoring a woman who knows her value is steep. It's a price measured in missed love, lost respect, and the haunting question of what could have been. Don't take it lightly. Don't assume she'll wait around. Don't assume that ignoring her won't change everything. Because one day you will look around and she will be gone, thriving, glowing, and living her best life, and you'll be left to wonder why you didn't see her worth when she was right there. So the lesson is clear. Ignoring a woman who values herself comes with a cost that isn't just emotional, but life-changing. And if you're smart, if you have any sense at all, you'll learn that lesson before it's too late. Because once a woman who knows her worth decides she doesn't need your attention anymore, nothing you do can bring back what you ignored. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked in relationships: the real value a woman brings into a man's life. I'm not just talking about someone to share a meal with or a companion for the weekends. I'm talking about a woman who challenges your mind, lifts your spirit, and pushes you to be better. Men, when you ignore a woman like that, you're doing more than being careless. You're risking losing someone who could transform your life entirely. Women hold immense value. They are not just there to follow you around or to fill empty spaces in your schedule. They are forces of influence, guiding, nurturing, and shaping the environment around them, whether you see it or not. See, men often make the mistake of thinking that attention is just attention, that love is just a feeling, That companionship is just about being present. But a woman who knows herself, who carries her confidence, who respects her own heart, brings something rare and powerful to your life. She brings perspective, stability, and energy that you can't buy. And when you ignore her, when you fail to recognize her contributions, you're essentially blind to a gift that could elevate your life beyond measure. Ignoring her is like having a priceless painting in your living room and choosing to hang a poster over it instead. You may not even realize what you're covering up, but make no mistake, the true value is still there, and one day it will be gone if you don't appreciate it. Ladies, you need to hear this too. Your worth is not defined by whether someone notices it. The moment you understand your own value, men will either step up or step aside. A woman who carries herself with confidence is not just desirable, she is irreplaceable. And the men who choose to ignore her, they are the ones who will pay a steep price, because the world has a way of rewarding those who respect themselves and teaching lessons to those who take others for granted. Every time you ignore a woman who adds depth, joy, and wisdom to your life, you are essentially saying that your short-sighted comfort matters more than the richness of what she brings. And that short-sightedness comes with a cost. Men, let me be real with you. Ignoring her doesn't just hurt her feelings, it diminishes your own life. You see, women of value don't just sit back and wait forever. They grow, they thrive, and they find spaces where they are seen and appreciated. And when they leave, it's not because they gave up, it's because they finally recognized that your indifference was costing them their time, their energy, and their potential for happiness. The man who ignores a woman like that is not only losing her, he's losing the wisdom, the love, and the guidance that could have made him a better person. He's losing opportunities to learn, to grow, and to experience life in ways he will never understand until it's too late. And the lesson here is bigger than just relationships. It's about respect, awareness, and the ability to recognize value when it's right in front of you. Ignoring a woman who carries herself with purpose, love, and confidence is more than foolish. It's a strategic error in life. Men, the truth is simple. The price of ignoring greatness is often measured in regret, missed opportunities, and the quiet realization that someone extraordinary passed through your life while you were too distracted to notice. And ladies, remember this, your value is undeniable, your presence is powerful, and the right people will always see it. Don't shrink, don't chase, don't settle for being overlooked. Stand tall, shine bright, and let life show everyone, especially those who ignored you, what they missed. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about power, the kind of power that comes from confidence and self-respect. I want you to really hear this tonight, because too many people, especially women, have been taught that their value comes from someone else's attention. But that's not true. True power comes from within. And men, if you ignore a woman who carries that kind of power, you are setting yourself up for a lesson in life that you will not soon forget. Confidence and self-respect are the most powerful responses to being ignored, and believe me, nothing irritates indifference in a man more than a woman who knows her worth and refuses to beg for acknowledgement. Men, listen to me. Ignoring a woman is easy. It's easy to be distracted, to play games, to assume she'll wait around no matter what. But women who have confidence, they don't wait. They don't beg. They don't waste their energy on someone who doesn't see their value. And that's where the power lies, not in chasing, not in pleading, but in standing firm in who you are. A woman who respects herself sends a clear message. I will not compromise my worth for your attention. If you don't recognize it, that's your loss. And men, that message is loud, it's bold, and it's unforgettable. See, when a man ignores a woman who knows her own value, he's ignoring the very essence of strength, intelligence, and grace. He's ignoring the woman who could inspire him, challenge him, and even change the course of his life. Ignoring someone like that isn't just rude, it's self-sabotage. And here's the kicker: women with confidence don't just disappear quietly. They grow, they flourish, and they shine in ways that make your absence even more obvious. You'll notice her success, her joy, her happiness, and then you'll finally realize what you ignored. And by that time, it may be too late to catch up. Ladies, I want you to hear me on this too. Confidence and self-respect are not arrogance. They are not about showing off or being unapproachable. They are about knowing your worth and refusing to allow anyone, man or woman, to make you feel less than you are. When you carry yourself this way, you become untouchable in the best possible sense. You're not desperate. You're not needy. You're a force that commands respect without even asking for it. And men, this is the kind of energy you will either recognize and cherish or regret ignoring for the rest of your life. Every time a man ignores a woman who stands in her power, he risks losing her forever. She won't tolerate disrespect. She won't beg for acknowledgement. And she certainly won't shrink herself to fit into someone else's inability to see her worth. That's the reality. Confidence and self-respect act as both a shield and a magnet. They protect a woman from being undervalued, and at the same time, they attract the people who are capable of appreciating her. Men, the ones who fail to recognize this, are often the ones left asking themselves, how did I let her go? And here's another truth: confidence and self-respect are contagious. When a woman knows her worth, it inspires everyone around her to level up. She lifts others while elevating herself. And if you ignore her, you miss out on being part of that energy. You miss the opportunity to grow alongside someone exceptional. You miss out on the lessons she teaches simply by being true to herself. And that, my friends, is the real cost of ignoring a woman who embodies confidence and self-respect, a cost measured not just in lost love, but in lost growth, lost inspiration, and lost opportunity. So remember this, ladies and gentlemen: confidence and self-respect are your most powerful allies. They speak louder than words, act stronger than anger, and teach a lesson no one forgets. And men, ignoring that power is a mistake that comes with a price you will not enjoy paying. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take a minute to talk about living fully and unapologetically. This is one of the biggest lessons a woman can teach a man who chooses to ignore her. You see, far too many people make the mistake of thinking that love and attention are earned by begging, pleading, or shrinking themselves to fit someone else's limited vision. But the truth is, living fully, being unapologetically yourself, and embracing your own growth is the most powerful response to being overlooked. It's not about revenge. It's not about showing off. It's about living a life so full, so radiant that anyone who ignored you immediately sees what they've lost. Men, pay attention. When you ignore a woman who lives unapologetically, you are ignoring someone who doesn't settle for less than she deserves. She is not waiting for your validation, your recognition, or your permission to shine. She's out there growing, learning, building, and living life with energy that cannot be ignored for long. And that's what makes the price of ignoring her so high. Because when a woman embraces her own potential, when she refuses to dim her light, she becomes a force of nature that cannot be contained. And the man who overlooked her, he sees it too late, and he realizes that what he ignored was not just a person, it was a lifetime of experiences, love, and inspiration that could have been his. Ladies, hear me clearly. You have a life to live. You have dreams to chase, passions to pursue, and happiness to claim. And the moment you start living that life unapologetically, something incredible happens. People notice. Not because you're trying to make them notice, but because your energy, your confidence, and your joy are magnetic. You no longer have time to wait for someone to acknowledge your worth. You don't need anyone's permission to thrive. And men, the ones who fail to recognize this, are the ones who end up paying the steepest price. They watch from the sidelines, wondering how someone they took for granted became unstoppable, radiant, and fulfilled without them. There is a lesson here for everyone in this room. Living fully is a declaration of value. When a woman embraces her potential, she sends a clear, undeniable message: I am not defined by anyone's attention. I am defined by my choices, my growth, and my happiness. And men, that's the moment when ignoring her becomes a serious miscalculation. You see, women who live unapologetically attract people who are worthy of their time and energy. They create opportunities, experiences, and relationships that are meaningful. And a man who ignored her, he loses all of that, not because she wanted to, but because he wasn't ready to recognize her power when it was right in front of him. Living unapologetically is not arrogance. It is courage. It is strength. It is self-respect in motion. And when a woman carries herself this way, it creates a ripple effect, not just in her life, but in the lives of everyone around her. She inspires growth, fosters joy, and commands respect without even trying. Men, ignoring someone like this is more than foolish. It's short-sighted. It's a failure to understand that the world rewards those who embrace life fully and teaches a harsh lesson to those who take it for granted. So ladies, don't wait for him to notice. Don't shrink to fit into someone else's limited vision. Don't apologize for being bold, for being ambitious, or for being happy. Live fully, grow unapologetically, and let the universe and anyone who ignored you see the incredible value of a life lived on your own terms. Men, take note. The price of ignoring a woman who refuses to dim her light is not just her absence. It's the loss of experiences, the loss of joy, and the realization that you let greatness pass you by while standing still. And that, my friends, is a lesson no one forgets. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to talk about one of the most important lessons a woman can teach a man, the lesson of what happens when you take her for granted. You see, too many men out there live under the illusion that a woman's presence is guaranteed, that her love and attention are infinite, and that she will always be there no matter how little respect or acknowledgement she receives. But the truth is, a woman who knows her worth does not stay in a place where she is ignored or undervalued. And the price a man pays for ignoring her, it's higher than most of you can imagine. Men, I need you to hear this. Ignoring a woman isn't just a small mistake, it's a huge miscalculation. You see, women are not just companions. They are architects of influence, bearers of strength, and sources of love that can transform a life. When you fail to recognize her value, you are not just hurting her, you're hurting yourself. Because every moment you ignore a woman who brings wisdom, passion, and energy into your life, you're missing opportunities to grow, to learn, and to experience a depth of connection you may never find again. Ignoring her is like walking past a diamond in the street, looking down at the dust on the ground, and wondering why life isn't shining as brightly as it could. Ladies, this is your moment to understand the power you hold. The power isn't in chasing someone who ignores you, and it's not in begging for attention or validation. The real power is in living your life with intention, strength, and self-respect. When a man ignores you, don't shrink, don't compromise, and don't diminish your worth. Stand tall, live boldly, grow fearlessly. Because when you do that, you are sending a message louder than any words could. I will not settle for being overlooked, undervalued, or disrespected. My life is too valuable for that. And men, that is the lesson you pay for, seeing a woman rise beyond your reach while you were too blind to notice her value. The truth is, men often realize too late what they had. They wake up one day, and the woman they ignored is thriving, successful, confident, and surrounded by people who see her worth. They watch from the sidelines as someone else appreciates what they could have had, and that realization, it stings. It burns. And it's a lesson taught not in anger or resentment, but in absence. Because a woman who truly values herself won't stay where she isn't respected. She won't waste her energy on someone who fails to recognize her brilliance. And when she leaves, the void she leaves behind is filled with regret, the kind that keeps a man up at night thinking, how did I let that slip through my fingers? Men, the cost of ignoring a woman is not just emotional, it's practical. It's losing the love, partnership, and inspiration that could have elevated your life. It's missing the laughter, the support, and the guidance she offered freely. It's standing still while she moves forward, achieving, thriving, and embracing a life that you could have been part of if only you paid attention. And ladies, this is why it's so important to recognize your own value. Never wait for someone to see it. Never rely on someone else to validate it. And never apologize for being a woman who knows her worth. Because when you embrace your value fully, the universe aligns to show you doors you couldn't have imagined. Doors that the man who ignored you can no longer open. And here's the reality, men. This isn't about punishment. It's about consequence. Ignoring a woman who knows her worth carries a price, and the price is living with the knowledge that what you took for granted is gone forever. She doesn't disappear quietly. She grows, she shines, and she thrives. And the life she builds without you. That's the ultimate testament to the cost of ignoring someone extraordinary. Every smile, every accomplishment, every moment of joy she experiences without you is a reminder of the opportunity you lost. So remember this, ladies and gentlemen. Teaching him the price of ignoring you isn't about revenge. It's about showing your worth through your actions, your growth, and your life. And men, pay attention, because ignoring greatness comes at a price you do not want to pay. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I want to leave you with one of the most powerful truths about relationships, about life, and about respect. This is about understanding that true power lies in presence and self-value, not in anger, revenge, or resentment. Too often, women allow themselves to be overlooked or taken for granted, and too often, men fail to recognize the greatness right in front of them. But the reality is simple. Nothing teaches a man the price of ignoring you more effectively than living your life fully, valuing your life self, and refusing to settle for anything less than what you deserve. And that lesson, it's one he will carry for the rest of his life. Men, let me be real with you. Ignoring a woman who knows her worth is not just a harmless oversight. It is a mistake with consequences. Women are not just emotional companions. They are visionaries, motivators, and sources of energy that can elevate a life in ways you cannot fully understand until it is gone. When you fail to notice her, when you dismiss her presence or her feelings, you are throwing away something irreplaceable. You may not feel the weight of it now, but make no mistake, the cost will come. And it will be high. That cost is measured in missed opportunities, lost connection, and the haunting question of, what if? That will follow you for the rest of your days. Ladies, this is why presence and self-value matter more than anything. When a man ignores you, it is not your job to chase him, to beg for recognition, or to prove your worth. The real power is in standing tall, living authentically, and letting your life be the demonstration of your value. Confidence, self-respect, and purpose are louder than any words you could ever speak. They act as both armor and spotlight, protecting you from being diminished while showing the world and him what he missed. And men, the ones who fail to notice this, are often the ones left with nothing but regret. The price of ignoring a woman who knows her value is not just her absence, it's her growth without you. Women who value themselves will not waste their lives on someone who fails to see their worth. They will grow, they will succeed, and they will shine in ways that make the absence of recognition unmistakable. Men often realize too late that the person they ignored was extraordinary, someone who brought love, strength, joy, and wisdom into their life freely. And when that realization hits, it doesn't come with apologies or explanations. It comes with a deep, knowing understanding that what was lost cannot be reclaimed. See, the power of presence and self-value is unstoppable. A woman who knows her worth doesn't just protect herself, she inspires everyone around her. Her energy, her joy, and her confidence create ripples that influence everyone she meets. And men, ignoring that presence is a serious miscalculation. It's like watching a sunrise and deciding to close your eyes. You miss the brilliance, the warmth, and the life it brings. And when you finally open your eyes, the moment has passed and you are left with nothing but the memory of what could have been. Ladies, let this be your guide. Never let anyone diminish your value. Don't shrink yourself to fit someone else's inability to see your greatness. Stand tall, walk proud, and live with the knowledge that your worth is undeniable. The right people will notice, the right people will appreciate, and the wrong ones. They will pay the price for ignoring you. And men, remember this, the price is real. It is measured in the absence of love, in the silence of what could have been, and in the lifelong understanding that some opportunities, once ignored, are gone forever. So tonight, understand this, presence and self-value are the most powerful lessons a woman can teach. They are not loud or vengeful. They are quiet, steady, and undeniable. They speak through actions, through growth, and through a life lived fully and unapologetically. And men, take notice, because the moment you ignore someone who embodies these qualities, you are signing a contract with regret. Nothing else can replace what you lose when you fail to value presence, respect, and self-worth. And that, my friends, is a lesson no one ever forgets.